Hey girl, in episode 154 of the podcast, we're talking about navigating summer schedules because your recovery is so important and eating disorders do not take a summer vacay, okay? So let's dive into today's show as I help walk you through the ability to find freedom in travel, vacation, and all the summer vibes. Here we go. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it so you can start living your best life as your best self. Hey girl, welcome back to the show. I am pumped to be talking about summer schedules today and traveling and vacations. I'm super excited because I actually just got back from my brother-in-law's wedding. So my husband's middle brother, my husband is the oldest, then he has a middle brother, and then he has a brother that's about 15 years younger than him. So the middle brother got married over the weekend. It was so gorgeous. There was so many activities that we were doing. It truly feels like a blur. But I remember at moments of time during the weekend where I was super present in the experience, in the moment. And it wasn't always that way for me. Actually, I remember going to a wedding when I was super sick and wondering how I was going to handle the whole event, how I was going to eat in front of other people, how I was going to partake or get out of partaking in cake time. Like all the things came up. But as I was experiencing this wedding this past weekend, not only was I able to truly embrace being there, but I was also able to sit in the feelings that maybe many of you are sitting in right now. And that's navigating those summer schedules, navigating vacation and events and all the things. Before, this would have been simply terrifying, almost paralyzing. I might have even come up with an excuse to not attend or to attend certain things and not others. But as we look at this in your life, between barbecues, between summer parties, between vacations, hello, it's bathing suit season. The kids are in different activities and maybe they're in camps. Maybe the hours have shifted. Maybe you have more home time. Maybe there is a lot of things that are going wild during the summer months for you right now. And what's important is that if you leave these things unchecked, you can spiral. You can really dive deeper into the disorder and grasp more control with the disordered behaviors. Or you can allow this time in your life to be freeing. You can find freedom in traveling, in experiencing, in being present. If you're finding yourself with high anxiety or you realize that magnifies before a vacation or after a vacation, then today's show's for you. So like I had mentioned, vacations would prompt me to restrict before the vacation and after the vacation. I was terrified of gaining weight or being out of my usual and structured food and workout routine. But you can and should use the summer to recover. And here's why. It is the absolute perfect time to put you first and to prioritize you. We don't need to push it off to the fall or I'm just going to spend this time this summer trying to manage all that I've done, making sure that I'm bikini ready and push it off to the fall. And then I will spend some time facing this and prioritizing this in my life. Sis, what I want you to hear in today's episode is your eating disorder doesn't take a vacation. So your recovery can't either. That voice in your mind is going to tell you to cut corners, to restrict for later, to not eat right now because you might be going out to dinner or you might be going to a barbecue event or you might have plans with other people. And so therefore, you're all discombobulated because of the shift in summertime. Sis, vacations would do all these things for me and more. I always felt like in our culture, we glorified this idea of when you go on vacation, you're going to gain weight. And that's just a truth. And that's a reality. And so you would either find yourself pushing yourself right before and right after. And I'm on vacation, so I'm allowed to give myself some permission on vacation, but only on vacation. And so it was a limited permission. And so you live in a limited permission cycle with that level of high anxiety. But one important tactic that I use with clients and that I wanted to shed light on with you today is all of this stems from a change in your routine. You see, the brain, it feels unsafe in change. So knowing this, we can actually use it to our advantage in recovery and armor you up for some realistic expectations. If you thrive on a schedule, we're going to create a schedule. This is going to be your summer schedule. It doesn't mean that it's going to be the same as how you operate when kids are in school or when life is far away from vacay day. It's going to look a little different, but it's also important that if you do the best with structure in your life, that you define what that looks like in the season for you. So no, this isn't sticking to calorie counts or the inability to change a workout routine because you were obsessed with getting that in on the daily. What this looks like is laying out all of the priorities that are important to you and the events that are coming up for you on your calendar and scheduling around those things to support your recovery journey. We wouldn't go into battle without armor, right? We wouldn't go into war without a sword. And we're not going to do that in recovery either, because the eating disorder isn't taking any days off, and therefore you need to be ready for your plan of attack. If the lax of summer makes you feel unproductive, it makes you feel lazy, enter in whatever it makes you feel, your own feelings here. How can you get all of those things out and start anew? How about focusing on some non-food related summer fun? Maybe it's taking a swim with friends. Maybe it's honoring the fact that you need to go clothing shopping and being good in that experience, allowing yourself to go there. Yes, summer can be a time of bad body image. I get it. Society amplifies the itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini. But what helps the most in recovery in the summer is honoring yourself and your comfort. Maybe a one piece, a rash guard, comfy board shorts, or even like me, my favorite high waist bathing suits will leave you feeling better about you and will leave you honoring yourself and nourishing yourself, regardless of how you're feeling in yourself right now. What I want you to focus on this summer is preparing and pre-deciding events and vacations. These are only terrifying because of how we responded to them in the past. Maybe when you've gone on your annual family vacay to the beach before, it was all this heightened anxiety on what am I going to eat when I get there? I'm going to have to go out to eat with other people. Oh, but I'm not going to be at the gym. And every day feels anxious. Sis, this year you get to embrace that every day is an opportunity to do it differently. What do you need to put in place for you to feel less anxiety? Can you mentally prepare for how you can feel less anxiety? Like how you want to respond to a comment that's made that doesn't support your recovery. These are all opportunities to reinforce what's important to you and what you find the most valuable for you. For me, it was putting those precious boundaries in place and saying, right now, I'm trying to focus on what my body needs, what my body helps me do, and how I can honor that regularly. Sis, you're allowed to put your recovery first. I know that feels super foreign, especially if you always put other people in front of yourself. What do you need to wear? What do you need to bring? What do you need to pack to honor you? As you think about your summer schedule, what clothes are going to make you feel the most comfortable? What bars do you need to plop in your suitcase because you need to ensure that you're getting in adequate nutrition as you travel? Maybe there's some snacks that are your go-tos that make you feel safe. How about bringing a journal the next time you go on that trip? I want you to think about what your limits are. Maybe I need to leave earlier if I'm in an event and I'm feeling self-conscious or not into it or triggered in some aspect. Or maybe I need to use my voice and what it is that I need. You see, years ago when I was navigating this in my own life, I realized that the most empowering thing for me was to stand in my truth, was to voice to other people what I needed, because how were they supposed to read my mind, right? So maybe it was something like this. Hey friend, I so want to come to your pool party, but right now I'm dealing with a lot in my life and I'm going through weight gain with my eating disorder. And so I'm super self-conscious. And so I'm going to stop by, I'm going to hang out, and I'm going to make it a priority to honor you this day because it's a celebration for you. But at the same time, I just need you to know what's going on for me, because in order to stand in my truth, in order to be the best version of me possible, I need to be real with you. And I need to let you know that right now I'm going through some things. And so comparing myself in a bathing suit around all these other girls that are going to be there is not what's going to be the best for me right now. And it doesn't mean I don't love you, and it doesn't mean I can't honor you, but I'm just going to do that in a different way as I go through this season. Sis, I want you to remember your why. I wanted to recover, but I wanted to recover and never go back. Maybe for you this summer, your why is recovering right now, this summer, so that next summer is completely different. Think about that. Think about, where do you want to be this time next year? Do you want to still be triggered by those thoughts and feelings? Do you want to feel completely controlled and obsessed over what you're going to eat next and when you're going to eat it? That isn't life. It's important that you set those limits and those boundaries. And it's important that you also get adequate support to navigate you through this journey. There is never shame in standing against the version of you that isn't serving you anymore. Getting support in the summertime is actually the best time, because this can help get your next season off to such a good start. You're going to feel more refreshed in the fall. You're going to feel more healed, and you're going to have a level of focus that is like no other. If you need help supporting your goals, this is the perfect time to begin embarking on the best version of you. And yes, maybe you have more downtime right now. Maybe you're sitting with all the thoughts, and those are challenging. That's the point. You shouldn't be navigating them by yourself. But recovery in summer can give you an extra boost. You can set more mindful intentions with this time that you have. You can have some realistic goals and expectations, and you can even create a plan to enjoy being present with the people that you love while you're on that amazing vacation. Today, I want you to honor you. I want you to accept that your recovery is your recovery, and it's not going to be perfect. And yes, summer in recovery can be super challenging, but you can accept that summer feels hard. But it's the perfect time to lean in and find healing for you along your path. I want you to ask yourself today, what am I waiting for? Because there is freedom in traveling. There is freedom in experiencing. There is freedom in being with other people. And if you're finding that this anxiety happens before or after a trip, maybe while you're on the trip, and all you can do once you get back is get back into that rigid routine, that one that's keeping you stuck here. The truth is that that isn't a healthy relationship with food in your body. And yes, vacations can be triggering. Vacations can be challenging. Maybe you're around all of these people in your life that bring out not always the best sides of you. But what I want to challenge you with today is that you're allowed to prepare and decide what is for you and what is against you in this time in your life. And for me, it was looking and saying, what am I putting off? I'm waiting to recover till next season because I need to restrict my food right now to be the smallest person on the beach. Like, what is behind that? Where did I pick that up to believe that that's truth? Sis, the real truth is that's a lie from the enemy that's keeping you trapped. Vacations should be a time of relaxation, of rest, of replenishment. Who made her the queen to tell you what you can and can't eat, what you can and can't wear, and what you can and can't do? You don't have to do anything in advance of your vacation to earn it. You don't have to do anything afterwards either. When I got back from the wedding this weekend, it was such a fun experience, and there was so much food, okay? And I remember dancing with my husband and just literally giving all the glory to God. I was like, how am I here? How am I here able to be present in this moment with you, dancing, enjoying a piece of cake with you, enjoying wine with you, enjoying being here? Like, how did this happen? How is this possible? It's so far from the version of me that I once was. And the reality is that it didn't happen overnight, but little by little, exposing myself and granting myself full-blown permission, especially when I was on vacation, especially in the seasons of summer when it was hard and harder than the normal seasons. It was realizing that I couldn't let my guard down against the disordered thoughts in my mind. I constantly had to have the plan. And so, sis, if you're looking for a plan, I want you to do the opposite today. Whatever that voice in your mind is telling you to do the opposite. I'll give you one final little story as I round out today's show. So we were on the way home last night. My sons are in the back seat, and they both want pizza. And the first thought that came to my husband's mind, because he voiced it, was, oh my gosh, we're not doing pizza. Like, we have done every single food that you could possibly have all weekend long, and we are not doing pizza tonight. The old version of me would have felt shame around that. Like, well, am I not allowed to have pizza because he doesn't want to have pizza? The version of me now was like, what kind of pizza do you guys want? Like, I'm going to get a barbecue chicken pizza. You guys are going to get your cheese or whatever, and we're going to enjoy this time as a family. And the reality was, it was perfect, but it was the opposite. It was going against the rule that I just spent the entire weekend at all these shenanigans. I just spent the entire weekend out of my routine completely. I just spent the entire weekend with no exercise, all these schedules, none of which were in control of my own. And I've still found freedom to order pizza as my first meal returning home. How does that happen? That happens with granting yourself permission and grace and doing the opposite. Taking the action when you're not feeling like taking the action. And so that's what I encourage you to do today, friend. I want you to live in freedom. I want you to embrace this messy lack of scheduling. It's your opportunity to lay it all out on the table and go, what is important to me? The reality is my brain feels unsafe with change. So where can I provide some structure this summer season? And then how do I build around those important things so that I am armoring myself up for my recovery and not against it? Friend, it's your turn to prepare, to pre-decide, and to honor those events and those vacations. I believe that you deserve a summer, a season, a lifetime of freedom from this horrifying disease. And I know in my heart that it's so possible for you. Your eating disorder doesn't take a vacation, and your recovery can't either. So stop putting it off. I'd love to learn about your summer schedule or where this is coming up for you and challenging you in your mind as you prep for a vacation or return home from one. You're allowed permission to rest, replenish, recover, and renew. And with that, I'm going to go do just that. Stay tuned for another episode of the show on Friday this week. Can't wait to bring you more. Bye for now. Hey girl, I'm not letting you go that easily. If you have been struggling with your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, and you know that you're tired of living this way when it comes to food and those controlling and obsessive behaviors that you truly feel chained in, then I want you to stop. I want you to stop putting off tomorrow what can be started today. I want you to go on out to herbestself.co and fill out a client application if you're looking for support on your freedom and recovery journey. I can't wait to meet you right out there. Also, thank you so much for listening to this show. It is an absolute pleasure to spend time with you today. Come hop on over to our private Facebook community, herbestselfsociety.com. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.